Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to draw a cumulative frequency diagram, a cumulative frequency curve, or it's popularly called an ogive. Ogive, yeah. You take a look at that shape. Yeah, that's what the shape usually looks like. Yeah. This is very good because it helps you to calculate other statistics like the median and the quartiles, like the upper quartile, the lower quartile, the interquartile range, and all that. Yeah, so we should have a look at how to recreate this one now that has been done already. Let's jump straight in and try and recreate this one. Be sure to have your pencil, sharpened pencil, a rubber, and a ruler handy to be able to complete this activity with me. So you might be given a basic frequency table like this one in the exams, and you might be asked to represent this data on a cumulative frequency diagram. The other word that I was trying to call for you is ogive. Ogive. Yeah, that's another name for that diagram, for that shape that it makes. Yeah, starting from 0, going all the way up, and then finishing off at the top there like that. Okay, so to be able to complete this, to be able to draw this graph, the first thing that you want to do is to extend this table to include a column for the cumulative frequency. So let's say we have the cumulative frequencies going on this column, and we're going to label that cumulative frequency. Okay, so what you want to be doing is you're going to be adding the frequencies from the top row onto the next ones, and so on until you get to the bottom. Yeah, until you get to the end. So on here we don't have any other row, so we're going to say that would be 5 plus 0, which is equal to 5. Yeah, and then on here we don't have anything. On here we have 8, so that would be 8 plus 5, which is equal to 13. And on here we have 14, so that would be 14 plus 13, which is equal to 27. On here we have 7, so we would have 7 plus 27, which is equal to 34. And on here we have 3 plus 34. We're going to add that, and that's going to give us 37. And how you know you've done it correctly is if you add everything on here. If you add you find the total of the frequencies, then you should have 37 as well on the total frequencies. So then you know that your cumulative frequency is perfect. Now it's time to plot our cumulative frequency curve. You would need to have your graph paper for this one, and we're plotting the upper limits against the cumulative frequency. So these are the upper limits, yeah, and those are the cumulative frequencies. That's what we're plotting against each other. Okay, the first one right there, first thing we need to do is draw the axis. So it will be, this time it will be cumulative frequencies on the y-axis and your data on the x-axis. So let's do that. I got my cumulative frequencies going up to 37, so I'm just going to make that going all the way up to 40, just to be on the safe side. Yeah. 10, 20, 30, 40, that should be all right. And I'm going to call that my cumulative frequencies. And you should know the difference between all of them, because we've done quite a few graphs, and on there you need to know which one you're plotting on there. Okay, and this is where the data goes. Data is going from 130 to 180, so 140, 150, 160, or 170, 180. let me come up a little bit. So 130 or 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. So that should be all right on there. Okay, and that was the, what was that? That was the height, h. So I'm going to call that the height, h. Okay, so it's time to plot the graph. This is gonna be 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. Let me write those down with my pen because it just looks clearer with the pen. And on this side, I've got my cumulative frequencies going up in fives or in tens. So I'm going to say that is 10, 20, 30, 40, and I'm going to stop it there. Yeah. Okay. Axis is ready. Time to join up the points. First point would be 140 and 5. So 5 can be somewhere here. I'm going to mark that with a little cross. The next one is 150 and 13. This is 10, 11, 12, 13. The next one is 160 and 27. This is 20, 25, 26, 27. This is 170. The next one is 170 and 34. 170, and this is 30. That's 35, so 34 should be this one right here. And the last one is 180 and 37. So that's 37, that's 180. That should be 35, 37. Yep, and that's it. So now all we have to do is we have to join the points up, and you want to just join that up using freehand. You don't want to be like starting from 0 at the beginning of the graph there, because that could have been 130. Yeah, that could have been 130. So that's where our data begins from. So starting from that, we want to start off and just freehand take it all the way up to the top. And when you come here, you want to begin to curve that down and stop. Yeah, so that's it. That's our ogive done. That's our ogive done. Yeah, and once we finish doing the ogive, we need to now begin to think about how we can get the information out of this ogive, and that's what we're going to do now. The first statistic that we're going to be looking into is the median. The median is half the data, so we can find that by going to half of 37. Half of 37 would be 37 divided by 2, which is equal to 18.5. So we're going to come up to 18.5. This is 20, so 18 should be somewhere here, and 18.5 should be somewhere in the middle right there, and that should bring us down to what? Somewhere there. We're going to find out what that is now. Yeah, so using your ruler, I made a little sketch following it. You can join that up now. Okay. One mistake that lots of people make, they write that 18.5 down as the median. That's not the median. You have to go to where the data is to find the median, but you have to follow it from the cumulative frequency. So starting from here, yeah, that's where you find the median. That's where you start to find it from, and then you follow it all the way down here. This looks like 154.5, yeah, because that is 155, so that must be 154.5, yeah. And now we got the lower quartile and the upper quartile. The lower quartile should be a quarter of the data. The whole data is 37, and a quarter of the data, that would be 37 divided by 4, and that is equal to 9.25. So you're going to come up to 9. It's not going to be, because it's a graph, it's not going to be perfect, yeah, So you're going to come to 9.25 is somewhere in between 0 and 10. So you could come there and follow it. Once you get to your graph, you come right down and find out what that is. Remember, I told you that you are allowed to make mistakes, okay? The margin of error, okay? You are allowed plus or minus 2. So everybody's answer is not going to be the same because it's a graph, okay? And that's going to give you the lower quartile. That's going to give you the lower quartile, LQ. This is the median, and that's going to give you the lower quartile. And that looks like, what's that? This is 140, 150.25. Let's go with 150.25. Oh, 145, no, 145.25. 145.25. Okay, the next one that you want to measure is the upper quartile, and the upper quartile is 3/4 of the data. The upper quartile would be 3/4 of 37, which is the whole data. So let's calculate that. We put that into our calculator. 3/4 times 37. That's going to give you what? 27.75. So we're going to come, that's 27.75, yeah? So we're going to come up here to 27.75. This is 25, 26, 27. 27.75 would be very close to 28. And you're going to follow that down, all the way down. That looks like 160.75, okay? So that looks like 160.75. Let me draw that neatly on the graph so that I can pick up the marks for that, okay? And that's how you do it. Make sure that you're using a nice sharpened pencil. Yeah, it's not going to be the same for everybody. The answers, everybody's answer will be slightly different because you're drawing a graph and people are going to make, there will be a margin of error, yeah? So this would give you the upper quartile, okay? And that's it. That's it. All done. Okay, that's what it looks like now. Okay.